Sanmonani ninjani nonke emakaya. Siyabingelela. We greet you all guys in this evening. This is our second show actually. It's kind of like a third show, but it's not a third show. It's a second show officially. This is a show called Talks Like This. Because we're supposed to talk about things we talk that matters most. We're supposed to get together and advise each other. You know what I mean? Because we have a lot of problems in this life. You know, sometimes as friends we don't tell each other the truth. As friends, sometimes we don't embrace each other in a good way. Sometimes we just lie to each other so that you buy friendship, of which is not good. Guys, we are here today to continue about our last week topic, women abuse. This is our last show on the women abuse, guys. This is a topic for the last time. I know last week other people will say, oh, last week we've been talking about the same thing, but we didn't finish up because the time was too short. So today we're going to finish up mostly everything that we think we should cover. And I have a surprise for you actually today. Yes, you'll be very, very surprised. Okay, I'm here with TK, guys. I'm here with TK. This is Thandeka Kuma. Oh, Thandeka. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. It's Thandeka Msomi. I don't know what Kumula Bang Posa. I think. This is Thandeka Kumalo, guys. One of our South African here in the US, in Connecticut, in the place called Danbury. But we're all over the place in Connecticut, you know. There are a lot of South Africans in this country. There are others there in New York, New Jersey, Texas, Chicago, Louisiana, New Orleans. We are everywhere. Even DC Gomkululetu, I think. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So, Thandeka, before we even forget about most of the stuff that we brought for the people, last week we talked about the women abuse, and you touched base on the most important things about the men who are abusive. You know what I mean? Because really, it doesn't make sense why men are so abusive in such a way. Like, you don't even understand what love is. You know what I mean? So tell us just a little bit last week, the most important thing last week that people will never forget that you talk about last week. Just a reminder for people who didn't watch the show last week.
Well, first and foremost, can we clear the Kumalo issue? It's TK, just the name, Thandeka Msomi. It's not Kumalo, Sipo. Obviously, I'm about Kumalo by Posa for real. Okay. Okay, well, last week, to just touch base with, you know, what happened last week. Last week we spoke about a lot of issues, but amongst the most important issues, we spoke about what are the contributing factors that actually contribute to women being abused.
Yeah.
Yes, and we spoke about stuff like alcohol. What role does the alcohol play in women abuse in a household? You know, we spoke about men that don't have father figures that will love their mothers, you know, and then the son gets to watch that and say, you know what, one day I'm going to love my woman like that. So there are men that are missing father figures in their lives. So as a result, they say that they don't know how to love a woman because of that.
So that means when you are a father, you have to live the example to your sons or your daughters.
It is very important.
Because they copy.
Absolutely. The child, from a very young age, the child copies everything that you do and everything that you say.
Yeah.
My son lives with my father, and half the things that he says are things that my father says. My dad
so
is
funny.
such a big influence in my son's
But I
life.
hope it's a good way.
Absolutely. All the
that's
things
good.
that my
That's
mom
good.
says. I mean, for just to give you a typical example, when you ask him what is his name, he's going to tell you, my name is Curtis.
Yeah.
And then my mom is going to ask him, what is special about Curtis? And he's going to tell you, Curtis is not just Curtis, but he's a child of God. You know,
That's
because
something.
my mom says this in the house every time,
Every
that
time.
you are a child of God, so you cannot just do as you please.
Yes.
You know, he's 5 years old, and he's
5?
growing up knowing that he's a child of God, so he can't just behave anyhow. There are expectations, you know, when you're a man. At 5 years old, he's already grasped that concept.
Yeah. You know, on the man's perspective about this issue, I would like to speak for men because somebody that was supposed to be here somehow he's not here. Well, you know, he's a busy man, businessman. So I want to say something about this abusive thing. You know, that it's a two-way thing. You know what I mean? Because I know today, this morning, I watched a video when somebody posted this video. You know, on I think it was on Poetry in Motion.
Yeah.
This woman was beating up the boyfriend like hell, public.
I saw the video.
You saw the video.
Yes.
You see, what do you think about things like that? When somebody's going to just going to embarrass you in front of everyone?
It's heartbreaking.
Exactly.
It really is heartbreaking. I mean, men abuse is just as bad as women abuse, honestly. Yeah. It doesn't make it any better that it's a man, you know. This thing that we were taught as from a very young age, especially us as Africans, we were taught that indoda ikhali. You know, a man doesn't cry. Yeah. Whatever happens, you have to grin and bear. You need to put on the strong face. Yeah. No matter how much something is hurting you, but you cannot let the world see. You know, so some men grew up on that, and till this day, they don't want to let that go. You know, and some men have disciplined themselves to the point where they've said to themselves, you know what, I don't care if she beats me to the point where I bleed. If she doesn't have a weapon, I know that I always have an option to run. Okay. You know? Yeah.
But I just want to just clear up some other stuff here before we really take this point that men are abusive. I just want to make sure that people do understand that, seriously, not only men who are abusive. There are women out there who are very, very, very abusive, guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I just want to say, everyone, women, men, kids, whatsoever, I think we need to stop being abusive. You know what I mean? Because you women, you always provoke us with some little things. You know what I mean? Little things. Sometimes other women, they even control how you dress. You know what I mean? I want some sneaker, the All Star. And some women is kind of like, now why you want to wear sneakers like utsotsi? You know what I mean? That's what I like. You know, that's my style. That's what I like to wear. You know what I mean? And then you end up have those conflicts in the house all the time, you know. And then it becomes sour in most of the times. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's when, and then you split up. Yeah. And then somebody end up being beaten. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not good to beat me on my side. I don't beat women. I never. I tried when I was in school. Because we think that was cool, you know what I mean? But when I grew up,
it's not.
No, not at all. No, don't.
School kids.
Don't. That's nasty, you know. But what I want to say is, if you are a man, a real man, you don't fight with a woman.
No.
You talk. If you think talking doesn't work, walk. Go somewhere.
You either talk or you walk.
Walk, yes.
Those are the only two options that are available for you.
Exactly.
Going fist fighting is not good.
No.
And for us as women, it's not right to be beating up these men because we were taught that our guys were taught that they need to grin and bear. We cannot take advantage of their kindness, and we cannot take advantage of the fact that they've made a decision that they will not retaliate. You know? So beating up a man is just as bad as a man beating up a woman. We can't say that, he's a man, he'll take it. That's not how it works. Abuse on anybody is not a good thing.
That's true. And another thing I'm going to say, I spoke to one of my friends and say, yes, I wish in South Africa they have that kind of a law. Just men. Yeah. When they find out that you're beating up your woman, men will come and take you and beat you up like hell. Beat you up like hell. Then they tell you, next time when we find out that you're still doing this, now we're going to kill you. You know what I mean? So guys, today I have a big surprise for you. You know? Oh, that's not good. I have a big surprise for you. There's something I think you should know. I know Uthandeka did a very good job yesterday, not yesterday, the other, it feels like yesterday, like last Friday,
Yeah.
talking on this topic, women abuse. And most people, they were on her side, agree with her, of which that was true, what she was talking about, or what she was saying, you know. But today, she's going to talk about the thing that really going to touch most of you guys. Because she doesn't talk about abusive thing only, but she's been in the situation. Tande, tell us, my sister, why now? Why now you want to tell us about being abused by a man? I know it's not once. It's more than once. I don't know how many times after that, but what I know is not once. Just tell us why now? Why? I know it's not only you. You know what I mean? But I know there are so many. I've spoke to most of the women.
Yeah.
They have been abused. You know what I mean? But they don't come in the front or forward and tell us what happened, so that we sometimes when you say something out, you heal somehow.
Yeah.
You know, not all the time, but somehow other people they heal. So I know you and other women. Why you take so long? Why you don't report? They say Trump did something. They said Zuma did something. They say whoever it did something.
Yeah.
Why people do they delay and say later? After just tell us what happened and then why now.
Why women take forever to disclose their abuse is your question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, but the reason why women take long to disclose their abuse,
Yeah.
it's several reasons. It's not just one particular reason. I can think of a few myself.
Yeah.
Well, for other women, and including myself, we take long to disclose the abuse because, for one, as bad as it sounds, but we tend to have our women intuition kick in at the wrong time.
Okay.
Imfesane, we call it, is Zulu.
Okay.
Hey, you know, we tend to nurture even when we're not supposed to.
Okay.
You know, we protect the guy's ego. We protect the guy's reputation. We're quick to think of all the doors that are going to close as soon as I disclose what he has done.
Okay.
We look at who he is in the society and what he stands for in his family.
Okay.
We look at everything that could potentially go wrong if we say something. Especially if say that this person is a breadwinner.
Yeah.
Say that this person is the only person that works in their household, that has a lot of projects going on, that has sisters, brothers, cousins, and people that he's providing for that are in school.
Yeah.
As soon as and he holds a very important, position in society.
Yeah.
For some reason, we feel that we should protect that person. You know, because we're thinking of all the people that are going to suffer after we have said something.
Yeah.
That is actually the wrong thing. It's the wrong mentality.
Yeah.
We can't protect somebody because they are a leader. For one, a leader leads by example. If you're a leader and you're an important part of the society, you need to lead by example. Therefore, you wouldn't put me in a predicament whereby you will make me feel pain and expect me to protect you and not say what you did to me. You know?
That's true.
So we are quick to jump into conclusions as well that, you know what, because this was the first time and he did promise that it's the first and the last time, and because maybe I really did have something to do with this whole reaction, maybe then it's not it's going to stop. It's the first time and it's the last time. You know, so we tend to think that it's something that will not repeat itself. You know, so we like, why run my mouth? Whereas it was just a once-off. This could potentially destroy his whole career. It could destroy our relationship. You know, because sometimes you've been in that relationship for a very long time. Sometimes it's not even a long time. It's like a good 3 months. But you are so in love and it's the only person or the only thing that matters to you. It's something that you have a plan to take forward for a very long time. You know, it's something that you're working on. You guys are a project that you're just working on. And you see yourself, you envision yourself somewhere in 5 years, somewhere in 10 years. And the first thing that comes to your mind is that if I do say something, all that, every single thing that we've built, it's all going to be gone. You know? And sometimes we're not prepared to speak because we haven't even yet come to terms with that it did happen. Because some of us look at ourselves in the mirrors and say, me, I'm a diva. No man will ever lay their hand on me. We even go out there to the public and say that. So now when somebody hears, oh, that I've been beaten up, how am I going to go out there and say what I used to say?
Yeah.
You know, because now you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, so this has finally happened to me. Whereas sometimes maybe you have been pointing fingers at people that were victims before, you know, and you were like, oh, look at so and so. So they finally got a beating and they didn't do anything about it. Oh, she probably deserved it.
Yeah.
We have so many opinions, you know, negative opinions, women to women animosity.
Yeah.
We as women, we call ourselves queens. But we, you know what queens do? They fix each other's crowns.
Yeah.
We don't fix each other's crowns. When somebody's crown falls, we are quick to laugh and we kick it away from them so that they don't reach it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
and
not
we
good.
don't understand that, you know, blowing somebody's candles doesn't make your candle shine brighter. You know, so sometimes we are embarrassed, sometimes we are protecting someone, and sometimes we just haven't healed about it. We're not ready to talk about it, you know. So it's several reasons that, you know, we'll keep quiet for 40 years sometimes and we'll disclose this when we are at a pension age, you know, because we really haven't really come to terms with it, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I always tell myself that we are this far in the whole entire world as far as the technology, the developments, and all kind of stuff, politically, economically, you know, all the kind of changes.
Yeah.
I believe that the women changed the world. You know, I for sure you agree with me. You've
Absolutely.
changed the world because sometimes you find that those boys who were, their hearts were so hard to let us be free. I believe that there was a woman behind saying, why don't you just let these people be free? You understand? Even though we don't know.
Yeah.
But behind there's somebody with that soprano, you know, saying something to the bass or baritone, saying, please, just let them go. You know what I mean? They're nice people. They work hard.
I mean,
You know,
I'd like to believe that when a woman has spoken
Yeah.
and you are not softened up,
Yeah.
you must be as hard as a rock, really.
I know.
Because we have a way with things and we have a way with people.
Yeah, but
you know
the
what
background,
I mean?
the background
So,
counts,
yeah,
though. sometimes,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know?
Because somebody told me that most men who are abusive, banetotolos.
I have no
Okay,
idea.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just, you know, brushing up on that side. You know, they say that their performance sometimes is not good. That's why they're so angry. They try to prove a point.
Well,
I don't know. How true is that? Do you know anything about it?
Oh, well, I wouldn't know. Absolutely not. But I believe that if somebody has something that really bothers them to the point where, oh, their insecurity jumps right out to the point where you really have to be abusive to somebody, I believe that with all the doctors that there are in the world and technology, I mean, nothing cannot be fixed. The only thing that right now that we cannot do is bring back somebody from the dead. But everything else pretty much can be resuscitated these days.
Technology is amazing.
It's amazing. Technology and medicine has advanced so much. Research has gone so deep.
Oh,
you know,
that's true.
so there isn't anything that
They
doctors
can
these
change a
days
man to
cannot
be a
fix.
female.
Oh yeah, they
You
can.
know?
Oh, definitely.
man,
you know,
that's something.
so it's it really is.
And then they want us to be pregnant. I don't want to be pregnant.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's what they say. That men are going to be pregnant. The technologies they're building up now is men are going to be pregnant.
Well, I think that could be fun, so that you guys get a taste of your own medicine,
Oh,
so that
come
you
on.
know what we go through.
Not me. Maybe
will
for
be
gay people,
interesting.
it's going to be good for them because they want to, you know, to make babies of their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of going to the woman.
Well, whoever wants to be in on the deal, that's going to be a good opportunity
Not
for
me.
them.
Cut me out, guys. Not me. I'm so sorry.
No,
you know.
Sipho, you wouldn't make a great pregnant woman.
Really?
I don't think so.
Hey, benza bamhlanga, nizo
Oh
ispatsha. You know, benza ispatsha. You know, because it's about sometimes they look at the face. Behind this face,
no! This is how sometimes
Telling
people
you.
find themselves in bad and sour, toxic relationships.
Yeah.
Because the initial agreement that they decided to agree on, you know, before they began the relationship was based on the looks. This is
Yeah,
where
that's true.
that's how people derail.
true.
You have to remember that as a man, that, you know, when you look at a woman, you must remember that that beauty will fade one day. You know, it is somebody's heart and somebody's mind that you're supposed to fall in love with before their looks. I know that men will say, we can't do that because you guys are not walking around with X-rays for us to see how your mind thinks and how your heart is. But you know what?
But
Take
the
that
good
leap of
person,
faith.
I can see the good person.
You know, take that leap of faith. Get to know somebody without judging them for what they look like.
It's true. They're responsible man. If somebody is responsible enough, you know that man can take care of you. You know what I mean?
Oh, most
Other men
definitely.
they are not irresponsible at all. The other men they don't want to go to work and all kind of stuff, and then they want to beat up. Most people who beat their women, more especially here in this country, they don't work.
Yeah.
They stay home. They take your car and drive and go and check other girls.
Well, you know what they say, when you have too much time on your hands, the devil gives you something bad to do. That's why that it's dangerous. We always say that it's dangerous to be idle.
Yeah.
Always find something to keep you occupied.
Yeah,
Because then when you're doing nothing, the devil will be whispering bad thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
You know, and those things, you could potentially do those things. You know?
Please, guys, but Jimbosi, I don't understand why you keep those guns, Obala, with your family. You're not supposed to keep those guns with your family there. The gun is supposed to be in a safe place. You know what I mean? To protect your family, not to go against your family. Because other people, they kill their women, they kill the kids, they kill they're angry to everyone. And then I don't understand why. That's why I don't want to buy a gun, because I don't know what the gun is going to tell me to do. Because I believe the guns, they tell them something. They tell those people something. You know what I mean? They want to test them. They watch movies. They want to experience whatever is happening there on the movies. You know what I mean?
Well, personally, I think that, you know, to get a gun license, you absolutely have to require not one but two psychiatric evaluations.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to check if your head works right for you to your mental status is stable enough for you to handle a gun to begin with. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, but before we go far and then we conclude, I just want to know the experience as far as the abusive is concerned, because I know you can tell me just one story about being abusive. Tell us about that abusive relationship that you had before.
Well, back home, I was married.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
okay.
My domestic violence, I experienced it at home, back home in South Africa, and when I came to this country, it was the same thing. It was once back home, and it was once in this country.
Oh, really?
You know, so I mean, you can imagine my trauma when I came to America. Sebo, I had no hair. You know, your hair is longer than mine. Oh yeah, I had no hair. It's true though, and I'm actually proud that I can actually say this and smile and laugh about it. Now we can actually have a conversation, and I can actually say something that will actually help somebody out there one day. Because at some point I couldn't talk about this without bursting into tears.
So why you didn't have hair? Because somebody abused you in such a way that you lost your hair. You know?
Yeah. Well, what happened was that I was stabbed in my head. You know?
No, don't tell me that. It's scary.
It's true. I have 32 stitches. 32 stitches on my head. But altogether in my body, it has to be at least 44. 44 wounds.
Oh my God.
Not just stitches, but 44 wounds.
Oh my God.
You know? So you can imagine, you know, the intensity
of the
actually. Absolutely. The whole point, he was even saying it while he was doing it.
Oh,
you know, that, you know, this is my last day. You know, so I always say that, you know, whenever I looked at my scars, because, you know, it's the summer, it's the hot season, and I hate the hot season for that reason sometimes, because then we have to wear these sleeveless things, and I have to account myself for all my scars, because they're not these little ones. They are big, and they are quite visible. They're hard to miss. You know, every time that I'm hanging out with my people, they'll be like, "Oh my goodness, look at this! Oh, that looks very deep. It must have hurt. What happened?" And for the longest time, I've had, you know, to make people buy the fact that, oh, it was just an accident. You know, I wasn't in no accident. You know, there was a man that decided to take a rusted scissors. You know, and stab the life out of me. You know, out of the blue. I didn't do anything to him. You know, we didn't even quarrel before this happened. You know what I mean? So that's how it happened. And this is my husband, mind you.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? It's my husband.
So the first days of date, how was the situation when the beat up started?
Let me tell you, I had never loved a man half the way that I loved him.
Okay.
The dating was wonderful. He was everything that I wanted in a man.
Yeah.
you know, we were so compatible.
Yeah.
We loved the same things. We didn't go to the same schools because I was in an all girls school, but our schools were neighboring schools.
Oh.
You know, so I had known him over a period of time. Though he didn't know me, he was doing sports at his school, so he was quite famous for the sports.
wow.
He was playing rugby. You know, so I knew him. I knew him before I met him. So when I finally met him, it was like, oh, so here we are. You know, like 10 years later. You know, so he was a wonderful person inside and out. You know, a very good guy.
Yeah.
But what happened changed everything. I cannot paint all of him and say he is a horrible person altogether. That's not what it is.
What happened?
But what he did left such a bitter taste in my mouth that I knew even if I forgive him for it, I decided to forgive him because, you know, when I didn't forgive him, I carried this grudge for the longest time, and it was giving me sleepless nights. It was robbing me of my joy. It was robbing me of my happiness. You know what I mean? So I came to a conclusion at some point. I had to pray about it and fast about it for the longest time. You know, I needed to get counseling about it because I needed to get over this thing. And when I say I forgive him, I needed to say it and mean it. You know? So, because it's one thing to say, okay, I forgive you, just because you don't want to deal with that situation anymore. And so that person is relieved that, okay, so he and I are good. You know? But I needed to say it and mean it, that I do forgive him. To the point where, even after the incident, I made him see that I do forgive you. You know? So when somebody spoke about second chances, oh, what happened to second chances?
This is our second show.
And
actually.
I said,
it's kind of like a third
and I
show,
said,
but it's not
you
a
know,
third show.
you know what?
It's a second
Anything
show.
that happens in terms of second chances, sometimes giving somebody a second chance doesn't mean, you know, being with them again, but it simply means forgiving them and moving on and not looking at that person as a monster. That too is a second chance. You know, second chances, we can't just always see them as, you know, if you give somebody a second chance, it means that you and I are back in the relationship again. You know? Yeah.
But I want to know something, so that we can help those people out there who are still in a relationship that is awesome.
Yeah.
Because your relationship was awesome before anything happens.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, so that people didn't understand. Everything was nice. So what are the signs, the first signs before he tries to stab you and kill you? What are the first steps? Sometimes there are those things, little things, people you see, maybe he's kind of mean, saying bad things, or maybe he's going to say, when he give you an answer, when you talk, he's going to say whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are the things that you think when this thing started, people should look for so that they will know this relationship is not going anywhere. You know, it's going to the grave.
Well, for me, it was a very different experience, unfortunately. This didn't have quite a long build-up. You know, sometimes you see it because the person will be slapping you across your face and will be apologizing about that. It will go on for months and nothing would happen in these months. Everything will be okay. And then 5 months later, it's another little thing. For me, it wasn't like that. It was just on a random day, then this happened. So what happened was he was on treatment, you know, then he defaulted. You know,
treatment?
Yes, he
What
was on
treatment?
He had TB.
Oh, TB.
Yes, he had TB and multi-drug resistant TB. He defaulted that. So when he defaulted that, the side effects. He lost his mind. He went psychotic. He didn't know who he was. He was unaware where he was. He wasn't aware of any reality. You know, when he looked at me, I don't know whether he saw a monster or whether he saw someone that was coming at him. His reaction when all this was happening, I could see that this is not the man that I married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it all just happened so fast, all in one day. And that was the only day that it ever happened. You know?
Yeah.
So there was no repeat episode of him beating me continuously over and over, forgiving him, going back, or and stuff like that. No, it was just a once-off. But when it happened on such a large scale. Such a large scale that was almost unforgivable. It was forgivable, but it was unacceptable. You know?
So the situation after you've been stabbed or almost stabbed, tell me, how was the reaction from him that after the thing that he just done? He's just done. What was the reaction of it? Did he feel sorry for that, or what happened?
Well, after the whole thing, well, I was in hospital for quite a while.
Yeah.
When I was discharged, I had to go home. I didn't go to my in-laws because I needed my mom's love. I needed
Okay.
my daddy's love.
Yeah.
I needed my brother. I needed my whole family all around me,
Yeah.
because I had broken bones. I was hurting everywhere. So I needed someone that was going to understand if I'm calling them every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that with my mother-in-law, obviously. So when he saw me for the first time,
Yeah.
after the whole incident, when I was discharged from the hospital, when I saw him, I was going to my doctor's appointment, for him to go and review my stitches.
Yeah.
He burst into tears.
Oh, shame.
He cried. I had never seen him my whole life cry.
Oh.
I saw him for the very first time crying, and not just saying that he's sorry. He looked sorry, and he really was so full of regret. He was wondering what he would do to take it back.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there was absolutely nothing
Yeah,
that
man.
he could do to take it
was-
back. It had already happened, and I needed to come to terms with it, and he needed to come to terms with it, that
Yeah.
we cannot undo this. We needed to work out a way forward.
What
what
was
to do
the take
from
of
here.
the family, your family, after all this situation?
That's another important factor. Family, friends, colleagues, everybody
Yeah.
around you, how they act in situations like this. It is so unfortunate that we were not united, in this whole thing. There were a team of people that were saying, you know what, forgive him.
Okay.
That he's going through issues.
Okay,
And he
yeah.
was on treatment, on antipsychotics for crazy people.
Yeah.
And he was being treated for his mind, to come right. And he needed to be on treatment right. He needed to start over. And he agreed to do everything that will bring him back to where he was.
Yeah.
So
The pills do any good?
absolutely.
Okay.
He's all right now. He's
Okay.
all right. It just takes a while.
Yeah.
But now, people were saying forgive him, and then some were saying, oh, if you ever go back to that man, our friendship is over. Because you'd be stupid because he almost killed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are so many opinions coming from all different directions
What side
that
did
you
you
got
take?
so confused and you get so emotional who to
Yeah.
listen to and who not to listen
Yeah.
to. But at the end of the day, you have to remember you need to listen to your heart.
Okay. So you just listen to her. That's it. Nobody else. You just take a side.
I took people's opinions,
Okay.
put them there.
Yeah. Okay.
I sat Tandega down. I
Okay.
looked in the mirror. I said, I'm smart. I said, I'm beautiful. I said,
Yeah.
I'm enough. I have a big butt. I have everything that a man would want. I have everything that a woman should be.
I like that, Julia.
Of course. I said, Mina,
Yeah.
when I get up, the devil is in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm one of those powerful women in my own way,
Yeah,
in my
that's
own
true.
world.
That's
I'm
true.
a queen in my own castle.
Yes.
I don't need a king. I already have a title of
Yep.
being a queen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said to myself, from here, I'm going to get up and dust myself and I'm going to continue.
Yeah.
I'm not going to continue the relationship. I'm going to continue my life.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this guy time to work his story out. I want him to heal. I want him to eat this treatment without me. I need him to heal completely. Psychologically,
Yeah.
mentally,
somebody else, not for you.
financially,
Yeah.
and physically.
Okay.
So he needed more than enough time. So when he had done all of that, I didn't just go and just break up with him and divorce him.
Yeah.
I told him I was cheering him on and I was rooting for him while he was healing himself, going through his whole healing process. I was encouraging him, and telling him all the right things to do, but from a distance.
Yeah.
Because I knew I couldn't come too close because I developed trust issues.
Yeah.
So I could help from a distance.
I see
So
what you
I decided when all was said and done
Yeah.
that this is not for me.
So the second abuse. I want to know about the second abuse. How was the things on the second one? Was at the beginning the things were good as the first one, or the things were just sour from the word go?
Well, for this one, the relationship was very short. Here in America, this one we were hardly even 5 months.
Okay.
Hardly 5 months.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything too solid.
Okay.
It's hard to compare a relationship whereby two people are married
Yeah.
and then nomjolo. Those are two things that that cannot be compared.
Okay.
So this one was just an ordinary relationship like any other that one didn't know where it would lead.
Okay.
But it does not mean that my feelings or my mind was not in it. To the point
Yeah.
where if the abuse happened, I'd be like, oh well, I didn't care. I did care, and this is why I struggled for a very long time, because this is somebody that looked at my scars and
Yeah.
said, oh my word, if I find the man that did this to you,
Yeah.
I can't promise that I will not kill him.
Okay.
But men are known to be hypocrites.
Yeah. So
It wasn't 2 months from that day he said that I found myself hanging from the ledge of my apartment,
Yeah.
ready to jump downstairs and break all my 200 bones at the same time, because he was standing before me and telling me, I'm finishing you off right now, you know, and he gave me a good beating, I'll tell you that much.
Wow.
You know, and the worst thing about this one in America is that it was on daylight and I remember everything well. The better thing about the first one is that I bled so much. I was, you know, I couldn't remember anything till this day. I can't tell you what time it started and what, you know, what was happening. I blacked out. I have absolutely no memory. I even said to my mom, I want to be hypnotized because I want to see the reaction in his face.
Yeah.
I want to remember what he was saying to me,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because I only remember when it started. After that, I can't remember anything. But this one, you know, I felt so betrayed because this is somebody that had, you know, they were so against what had happened to me before.
Yeah.
And I had sat down with him and I had said to him, look, listen, this is what happened. And when I spoke about it, I cried, you know, and there are days in the summer where the sun is just so intense and
Yeah.
the stitches start hurting. And I start crying about it. He knew everything that I had gone through, you know, and he was very sympathetic about it. But, you know, when on just a random day, he decided, he even said, and worse, he even said, I know that I promised you that I would never do this to you, considering how much you've been through.
Yeah.
But today, I'm changing my mind. It's going
Yeah.
down. And I knew from then,
Yeah.
you know, today, ngiphelile ngami.
So did you try to find some therapy or something like that after all this drama?
Oh,
and all kind of stuff?
absolutely. And, you know, going to therapy, people think you're going to see a shrink where you're going to tell them all your problems. And she sits there eating bubblegum and writing down what you're saying and all the stuff. That's not what it is always.
What it
you know,
is.
Sometimes therapy is speaking to the person that you trust.
Okay,
You know, I
okay.
had a church deacon, you know, who is like a mother.
Oh,
You know, obonothando mama.
Yeah.
You know, she had, and for me it was even more special because her child had undergone the same thing. So she knew exactly what my mom had been through, and
yeah.
she knew exactly what I had been through because she saw her own daughter going through the same thing. You know, so for
Yeah.
me it was very special because not only did we pray together almost every day, but she checked up on me. She sent me messages that were encouraging. She sent me all sort of texts that were encouraging, that were empowering, things that are friendly reminders that I'm great, that I'm beautiful, that I'm me, that I got this.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm a queen, that I must never be afraid.
Yeah.
You know, the devil beat me at my game once, but it doesn't mean that I'm defeated.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't defeated. That happened, and I was bitter for a very long time. I don't want to lie about it because I knew that this is a person that I trusted, that they will not repeat. History will not repeat itself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but you know, the day that I let go of all that bitterness and I decided to live my life to the fullest, you have no idea how many doors that God opened for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's how it is. You know, in this world, when something bad happens to you and then you lose hope. But when you look on the other side where God is, you find hope, and God will lead you to the promised land. The promised land is where you achieve. It's when you see yourself progressing. It's when you reach the things that you thought you would never reach in your life. You know what I mean? But guys, we're not gonna go furthermore. We're gonna just wrap it up now. Thandeka, what was your last your last words on this before we close the show?
I'm glad you asked me that.
Yeah.
My last words are a story. It's a long story that I have shortened.
Yeah,
Sibo,
yeah,
when you take a pot,
mm,
when you make a fire, an open fire outside,
yeah,
or you go indoors, you put on a stove,
yes,
you put water in a pot,
yeah,
and you take a frog and you put it there inside, and you put the thing on low, and you
Yeah.
keep increasing the heat
okay.
until the frog dies.
This shape of it.
Do you do you know what killed the frog? It's not the water, hot water, that killed the frog. But what killed the frog is
Yeah.
the fact that it did not jump out of that water on time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Look
yeah,
at the logic behind that.
Yeah.
If the temperature was getting higher and higher, the first thing that the frog should have done was jump right out.
Yeah.
So this is what is killing us as society, not just women. When we are in situations and we are so overwhelmed, the heat is boiling under us, but we're not trying to jump out on time. We sit there and eventually die in those situations and think that we're not worth it no more. Jump out. My last words are jump out while you still have time. What's going to kill you is not your situation, but it is going to be your stubbornness, and you're waiting a long time to jump out of the situation. Ungafeli emanyaleni. Ungafeli entweni ekuyona. Unalo ithuba lokuthi uqhuma uphuma ubaleke kuyona.
Abanye bathi ngofela khona.
No, so aseye kuba o die hard abangaregistiwe. No, that's wrong. You know, sihluphekisa abazali bethu mangabe senza kanjalo. Kuba ngabe sebesingcwaba kunzima umzali mabe sengcwaba ingane. It's very difficult for our parents. Yes. So jump out while you still can. Yeah.
Oh well, guys, you heard it all. Muthandeka telling you. I hope every one of you out there, you just grab something for yourself. Every one of you out there, I think, hopefully, that you've gained something out of it. You have learned something out of this. Forget that it's Thandeka that you know, but the message behind Thandeka that you know is what you're supposed to take and run with it. Because even Jesus Christ, they didn't even take him notice in the place where he was born. But other people on the other side, they were getting helped because they were serious about what he was saying, not who he is. So right now, as we are talking here, guys, we are doing this for you. We are doing this for everyone. I've gained something out of this because we all have problems in our relationships, no matter what. Nobody's going to tell you that your relationship is smooth, everything is fine. But we all need somebody who's going to tell us something that's going to help us. The problem that you don't know how to solve it. This is how we're going to solve those kind of problems, guys. This is a topic. Women abuse, not only women abuse, in both ways. Men and women abuse, guys. Really is not ayoba, is not cool. It's not something you think you're gonna get girlfriends. It's not something that you think you're gonna get men because when hush we something later but by suburbs. The old fashioned We've been there before. We don't do that anymore. We are men. We want to make sure that our kids, they see something from us so that they're going to shine there out there. Because our kids, they are proud of us most of the time. They talk about us all the time. But I'm telling you because I know I've been a child before. There are kids in the families. You see all the kind of stuff that is happening, guys. This is talks like this. Umbani Productions, guys. Guys,
peace.
We'll see. But just leave those comments, guys, down there. We have a page on Facebook. Talks like this. Go there and say something positive. Don't say something really as good how stupid you are. Just say something that's going to help other people. Because people can see what you are writing out there, guys. Please give us something positive that's going to help other people. We love you so much, guys.
Like the page and tell your friends to tell their friends.
Yes. Friday next week, we're going to come with a new topic. We love you guys. Take care.